Sean. If you'd all please rise for the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Minutes?
All right, I don't think that minutes were done last month. I have workshop minutes from 3/17, town board minutes from 3/20, town board minutes from 4/17.
Yeah,
Make a motion.
yeah.
Okay, it wasn't written down, so I just,
Okay.
all right, so it's just April then,
Okay.
with the adding of the minutes.
Can I get a motion?
So make a motion.
Can I get a second?
Second.
All in favor? Aye. Bills?
Right, then I have general bill 21607 through 21640, highway bills 21642 through 21658, and water bills 3370 and 3371.
Can I get a motion on the bills?
So moved. Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Town attorney, Warren?
Nothing.
Good.
Except. No, where is that?
Oh, I'm sorry.
Got your hydrant right.
Oh, no way.
Oh, that's so funny.
And that got paid, right? That's.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
We settled that Chantilly lawsuit has been dismissed.
That's funny.
And I have the transfer possession of the what is it, a hydrant?
Hydrant, yeah.
And we witnessed that.
Hooray, and I didn't want you to think that I just stole it.
Life is good. It's funny.
Okay. A little early for the public hearing, so we're gonna go into department reports. Is Carl here? Okay, so did everybody receive his report?
Yes.
Oh, he's just pulling in now. So let's hold off on Carl's. Let's go to the building inspector report. Did everybody receive that report?
Yes.
All right, let me just run through it real quick. Total new homes for year 1, certificate of occupancies 5, CO searches 6, site inspections 13, property maintenance 3, total permits to date are 22. Let's jump into the water engineering.
Monthly report was submitted to the Department of Health. The average daily flow remains stable at 62,000 gallons per day. Again, that remains a bit high for this time of year. Water meter maintenance, 2 meter heads were replaced. There was 1 utility markout that was performed last month for a parcel that was installing a fence, so located the water service line for them. Both chlorinator pump and feed lines and fittings were serviced and placed back in, or excuse me, cleaned and placed back into service. And I ordered the 6-month supply of chlorine, which is going to be delivered the first week of June. There was 1 service activated on Carla Terrace. That was a building that had gone into foreclosure many years ago. My understanding is that there's a pending sale, so they needed the water turned on for inspection purposes. So hopefully that'll be occupied soon. That goes through. We did find a leak on Poplar Avenue. The leak is located on a service line serving a residence, and it's located between the curb shutoff and the building itself. So it's the homeowner's responsibility. So we're just working with them, trying to coordinate their schedule as far as bringing in a contractor to get that actually replaced. It's an old galvanized line, and the owner is looking forward to actually replace the entire line rather than just fix the repair because of its age. We'll continue to work with him on that. And I attended a AWWA sponsored webinar and received 3 hours of continuing education. That's it for water. On the engineering, I was contacted by the architect for the town hall project, and they had requested any information that I may have associated with the water line locations.
Yep.
And so I'm compiling that information. I'll get that scanned and get that over to them. They also ask any property information. So I'm working with Warren as far as getting deed information and any property surveys that we may have. Once I get that, again, I'll forward that on to them.
Perfect, thank you. All right, we're at 7:05, so we're gonna open the public hearing. Can I get a motion to open the public hearing?
So moved.
Can I get a second?
Second.
All in favor? Aye. Warren?
So this is a local law that I was asked to draft at a town board. Interest in changing the provisions of our code with regard to deputy supervisor. Section 42 of the New York State Town Law provides that the town may establish the office of deputy supervisor, and that supervisor shall be appointed. That deputy supervisor shall be appointed by the supervisor of the servant's pleasure of the supervisor. A deputy supervisor only has very limited power. He or she only serves when the supervisor is unable to serve. Actually cannot vote, but he can sign checks, and there are certain other limited things that a deputy supervisor can do. We don't, in our town code, have a provision which establishes the office of deputy supervisor in accordance with section 42 of the town law. But the town board has for many years at its organizational meeting appointed a deputy supervisor. Sometimes they are members of the board, sometimes they have not been members of the board. The way section 42 of the town law reads, the deputy supervisor can appoint anybody to that position. It does not have to be a member of the town board. And some members of the town board expressed concern over that because fill the role with somebody who's not a member of the town board. That person doesn't really have the knowledge, but town board members usually have for taking over the role of supervisor. So I was asked to draft a local law which repeals the office of deputy supervisor pursuant to section 42 of the town law and enacts a new provision and establishes the office of an interim supervisor. And that interim supervisor would essentially be appointed the same way the deputy supervisor under town law is appointed. It would be the province of the supervisor to appoint a member of the point of a deputy supervisor, usually at the organizational meeting. If the supervisor fails to do that within 5 days after a vacancy occurs in the office, the town board has the right to appoint a deputy supervisor. So all of those provisions of the 42 of the town law have been incorporated in the new law for interim supervisor. The only change that I've made at the request of the board members is that the deputy supervisor must be, whether it's appointed by the town board or the supervisor, it has to be a member of the town board. And that's what this law provides.
We'll now open the floor for any public comments in regards to this. Please state your name.
Say that this is an interesting and important change to really incorporate the town board more fully in sort of every single decision that happens and really concentrate that knowledge from the town board. So I just wanted to say it's a nicely done law, and I'm very much in support of it.
I can read this letter from
Go
Ethan.
ahead.
Okay, so this is from Ethan A. Demaria, dated May 15th. Directed to the Pine Plains Town Board. Members of the town board, in light of the public hearing scheduled for tonight, I am writing to express support for the proposed legislation mandating the position of deputy supervisor be filled by a seated member of the board. In an attempt to stay engaged with local events, I stay active with all of the neighboring towns as well as the ones in which I work. I can speak with confidence that none of the municipalities Pine Plains borders utilizes individuals outside the confines of the board for their deputy position. It is, in my opinion, an outlying oddity and presents numerous issues as has been already discussed by the town council. Thank you in advance for your considerations. Sincerely, Ethan B. DeMera.
Is there anybody else, public comment? Can I get a motion to close the public comment?
So moved.
Can I get a second? All in favor? Aye. We're gonna hold off on voting for this until our fifth board member is here until next month. So we're gonna move into public comment. I have a few things. I just wanted to remind everybody, Town Cleanup Day is this Saturday, May 17th, from 8 to 1 at the Highway Department. Memorial Day Parade is May 26th at 10:30. Line up at the firehouse. Next month's meeting will be June 18th due to the holiday of June 19th. Janine, you had some public comment?
Yeah, I have some student letters and community letters. I just want to capture the essence of. One is from Oliver Jimenez. And he's writing about the condition of the sidewalks on Academy Street in front of the elementary school. And his concern is that it's broken and uneven, and he feels that it is unsafe for kids, especially during the season of bike riding and running and so on and so forth. And he's concerned because he doesn't want to see someone get hurt on our sidewalks. Those sidewalks are kind of a recurring theme. Here's another one from Sebastian Cruz Barron. He's a 12th grade student, and as you know, the students are write letters for their political science course. And so this student has noticed the conditions of sidewalks around Pine Plains, that they're cracked. It can be dangerous for people. It's trip hazards, wheelchair users, people who are visually impaired. His thought is that filling the holes around the town, the sidewalks, and smoothing them out could make the town more appealing to explore and safe and enjoyable. Another person, Ronnie Cleveland, talks about the intersection at the light. He's concerned about the intersection at the light in the middle of Pine Plains. He's seen people run red lights at this intersection, and he would like to encourage our police force to enforce safety in and around this light so no one gets hurt. Yes, so I have, just wanted to thank the Stissing cleanup that was last weekend of the roads. The organizers, Dick Hermans and Brock Sturtevant, and all the community members that participated in that, a lot of high school students, the High School Honor Society, and it was really a great community effort, and the roads look fantastic. So thank you to everybody that participated in that. Also wanted to give a shout out to our new building and maintenance person. I am receiving all kinds of positive feedback about how everything looks in the town and what a great job he's doing. So thank you, Carl, and your new employee. He is. So the community center and the library has a new sign, in case no one has noticed. And so I wanted to say thank you to Kiri for helping to design that sign and making all that happen, to Claire Gunning, Jay Osofsky for installing that sign, Carl for making sure it's in the right place, Ray for making sure it doesn't bump into any lines or water or whatever, and Brian for showing up because he knows where everything's buried in the ground.
Knows where the bodies are.
So, yeah, that too. So, thank you. The sign looks fantastic, and the grounds are looking great too. That's it.
Okay, so I have
Kevin.
a proclamation. This is for EMS week. to designate the week of May 18th through the 24th, 2025 as Emergency Medical Services Week, EMS Week. Whereas emergency medical services is a vital public service, and whereas the members of the emergency medical services teams are ready to provide life-saving care to those in need 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, and whereas access to quality emergency care dramatically improves the survival and recovery rate of those who experience sudden illness or injury, and whereas emergency medical services fills healthcare gaps by providing important out-of-hospital care, including preventative medicine, follow-up care, and access to telemedicine. And whereas the emergency medical services system consists of first responders, emergency medical technicians, paramedics, emergency medical dispatchers, firefighters, police officers, educators, administrators, pre-hospital nurses, emergency physicians, trained members of the public and of the other out-of-hospital medical care providers. And whereas the members of the emergency medical services team, whether career or volunteer, engage in thousands of hours of specialized training and continuing education to enhance their life-saving skills. And whereas it is appropriate to recognize the value and accomplishments of emergency medical service providers by designating the Emergency Medical Services Week now. Therefore, the town of Pine Plains and the Pine Plains Town Board, in recognition of this event, do hereby proclaim the week of May 18th through the 24th, 2025 as Emergency Medical Services Week. The 51st anniversary of EMS Week theme is EMS Week. We care for everyone. I encourage the community to observe this week with appropriate programs, ceremonies, and activities in honor of the EMS profession and the essential services it provides. I think that is.
Can I get a motion on that?
I'll make that motion.
Second.
All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Can I get a copy of that to put that on the website, Kevin?
Yes.
Thank you. All right, we're gonna jump back into department reports. Carl, since you joined us,
Right.
you're up, bud.
Well, we're in the process of prepping, some of the roads that we're going to re-oil and stone this season. We've gotten several trees cleaned up and taken away that were dangerous, dead, in danger of hurting somebody. We got all the salt delivered that we had scheduled to deliver and is stowed away, ready for the terrible winter coming soon. Brush pile and chips. Brush pile has been chipped and cleaned up. If anybody would like some chips, come on down and grab whatever you want from the town garage. Attached is a letter that was sent to us from a resident concerned about the intersection of Hoffman, Dam Road, and All Hill. It's not the first time we've had somebody complain about the hazardous intersections. I'm not quite sure what the town would like to do about it. I have reached out to several folks in the know, and I'm waiting for them to give me a call back on what it is that we need to do.
I have a question for you, Carl. When you look back in previous meetings, way back, I believe it was in 16. Was it 14? Yes, November of 14. Were the warning signs installed? Are you aware of that? If they were? So they were not. Okay. So maybe we should reach out to the county again and ask that question, being the county was the one that recommended warning signs instead of stop signs?
Yeah, I call
Okay.
predecessor and he gave me another number that I reached out to, and I'm just waiting for them to give me a call back, but I'm on the software. I'm getting out numbers and hopefully I'll be getting some answers to you.
Okay, so we're gonna table this until next meeting, until you get those answers. I think that would be the most sensible decision right now. Cause getting county feedback I think is
Right.
necessary.
I would like to ask a question too, because, there are three roads that meet there.
Yep.
And only one of those is in our jurisdiction.
Dam
So-
Road has a stop sign. And Hall Hill, if anybody's familiar with this intersection, has a good shot looking down. But if you're coming off of Hall Hill and you take a left on the dam, you can't see if there's somebody coming up
Right.
off you.
Or even if you're coming on Dam Road and you're gonna stop, it's really hard to
Hard to
see up
see.
to the right.
Correct.
And
So if Hoffman is a town road, can we make a decision to do something on Hoffman Road that doesn't involve the county?
We have to make sure we do it in a legal way.
right.
There.
The county has to be involved.
Putting
Yeah.
signs
With
up.
that,
What about,
Just stick a sign up and say, there you go.
I mean, I'm not a professional in this regard, but it feels like 3 stop signs would make that the safest possible situation, ensuring that everybody comes to a complete stop. Then you have the best possible visibility.
Absolutely.
Getting
But
Dutchess
unfortunately,
and
you've got-
Columbia and everything on board. Yes.
And take time and you gotta get the town to agree. We gotta.
Right.
What I can say in regards to that intersection gets really hairy when it comes to fire coverage as well. Depending on where something happens in that intersection, even if we can get there twice as fast as someone else.
Mm.
If something happens there and it's on the Ankrum side and they get called, they'll call Colpec Mutual Aid before they'll call us. The way Columbia County operates.
Mm.
So getting the counties to intermingle, Ray would be able to touch on that a little bit better.
Yeah, we would have to get the county involved, obviously, we'll need to get, Dutchess County involved and.
Yep.
I'll, Commissioner for Public Works in Columbia County, will make someone available to meet with the town and county.
How
thank you,
convenient.
thank you. I have a silly question. What's a
One-stop
warning
shop.
sign? What's a warning sign?
The yellow signs.
The yellow.
Yeah.
signs are one.
Indicating.
Just warning you, there's a sharp corner,
Sometimes
oncoming traffic.
Sometimes
I
it's.
don't think that's
I think
adequate.
chevrons would be nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, yes,
Chevrons would be nice.
yes, that would,
And then-
Well, it's locals, and I say locals, anybody who's been here for 5 years has come across that intersection and goes, hey, you have to slow down.
Mhm.
Yep.
If you're newer than 5 years, it might be the first and second time, and it kind of catches you off guard, it comes up quick.
People have ended up in that pond.
Okay.
But anytime an intersection involves a county roadway or a state roadway, it's the county or the state, depending on the situation, that actually has jurisdiction in that intersection. So you will need to get the county. Involved.
So I'll keep making the phone calls until I get answers and get moving.
perfect.
Every day.
Let somebody from the town board know if you need help or legwork or something. I'd be more than glad to make phone calls or you need help.
Just a phone call.
Also on that same note, in regards to Carl mentioning the, mulch, we had it double ground, so it is a fine mulch. It's not the big chips. So that might,
Free for the taking.
yep, it's free for the taking.
A lot of it last year, and some people showed up afterwards and were quite upset. We did put a pile aside if you can't get to it right away, but the main bulk would be grateful if we could get rid of that. It'd be great, to get rid of it before we have the dump day next weekend. I guess.
No, this weekend. Yes, next weekend's Memorial Day, but. Okay, to police department.
Right. Right down to the activities, since you all have copies of everything. Incidents, we answered 6, fire and EMS 3, domestic 2. Traffic warnings 23, traffic tickets 11. Go back to the last page for continuous reports. We need a training on e-justice, we gotta do it every year now, or every 2 years. So, him and I completed that training. Took a test to requalify, myself, Theo Fantroy and Theo Lavelle, attended the New York State Traffic, Safety Convention. Learned quite a bit up there. Especially dealing with some EV vehicles, buses, trucks, cars. So, hopefully we don't have to put it in practice, but about that. And that is my report.
Thank you, Stevie. Animal control report. Everybody receive that? Just go over this. Administrative call out hours, 18 for this month. Shelter maintenance hours, 2. Calls received, 2. Miles traveled, 6. Complaints investigated, 1. Missing and found dogs reported to DCSO, 1. One dog is currently in the shelter, which is from the town of Milan. Recreation, the rec director is not here today. However, the camp director is here. Did you want to say a few words or? Yep, they're on the list. Yep.
We will have July 4th off. We'll run from 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. And we're all very excited about camp.
And
Thank-
signups are available.
Yes.
They're
No.
available, Yeah,
Okay.
I think they might be on the town site, but they're on
Yep.
Facebook. I know the school has kind of passed them around. I'm also going to be putting out a flyer to the schools so that hopefully parents can sign their kids up. I know there's some weeks that only have like 35 spots left, but I think somebody put out a post today, so I think more people hopefully will sign up.
And how many spots are available total?
115.
Wow, that's great.
What's wrong?
Thank you, Megan. CAC.
We created a subcommittee of Hannah Schiller, Kim Denardis, and myself. We have met with Hudsonian, which is the Bard College ecological group. One of the things that we're learning is how important community buy-in is. And so we're beginning to think about how to best connect and let people know that we're going to start doing this. You can focus your natural resource inventory around things that are of issue to the town. One of the things that when we met with Hudsonia folks, they said that it can be helpful to have your researchers look at possible solar siting places where it's good to do. It's not a recommendation, but it just gives information to the town, and how important it is to really pull in other groups, certainly the leadership of the town board as we continue. So we continue to network with the surrounding communities. For your enjoyment, the Dutchess County has put up their own natural resource inventory mapper, which is a pretty cool, like multi-layer map if you want to see where certain natural resources are through the whole county. We will of course be using that as a basis for ours as we move forward. The other thing is that we received communication, I think, town supervisor did as well from Dutchess County about a refrigerant recapture program. We've discussed it, honestly. Carol has one more phone call. I guess he's the phone call man tonight, but he has to get in touch, and we don't have our meeting until next week. But Carl very, I thought, importantly said, there's a lot of these interesting programs that with some volunteer work you can connect, but there's often not the actual follow-up. So he talked about recycling programs where lots of things get left at the town dump, and they say they're going to pick them up, and then they don't pick them up. So we honestly want to, working very closely with Carl, be very careful before we say yes to that. So you don't have to say now, Carol, but we have our meeting next week, and we'll be looking at it.
Thank you. Beautification committee.
Well, there
Yeah.
isn't somebody here representing the committee, so I can give the update.
Yeah.
So the great news is we received 22 new planters today. And they were drop shipped. And so we will be placing them and transferring soil and so forth from the whiskey barrels into the new planters. And then the whiskey barrels will live over at Carl's shop. And then so that they will be ready for the garden club to plant flowers in next Thursday. So I just want to praise the beautification committee members for raising in pure donations $12,270. So they paid for the planters, plus there's more left over, and the committee is going to discuss their next projects at their next meeting, which is Tuesday, May 20th. So I think that that's pretty exciting news.
In regards.
Yes,
I want to know what time on Thursday they will be.
so the garden club is planting, and I think that they start at 9 or 10, I can confirm that. But other volunteers, not the garden club, are starting to transfer the soil and stuff tomorrow morning at 9 o'clock. So if we don't get it done tomorrow, we'll spill over into Saturday as well. So if you would love to volunteer for that, that'd be great.
And then Thursday will be the actual
Planting.
of the flowers. Okay.
A question I have in regards to that, how are we going to attach which Carl's probably on the same page, is this the American flags to those new planters and the Christmas trees to those new planters?
So I can answer part of that question. The flags, because that's coming up soon. As we speak, Fair is preparing pressure treated wood that has brackets on it. That's gonna be, the planters are square. That's gonna live on one side of the planter, then it'll be filled with soil and the flags can go right in there.
Okay.
In the planter. Yeah, he's
Okay.
attaching a PVC pipe to
Okay.
the lumber, so there'll be a nice clean
Okay.
PVC pipe and the flags go in there. The Christmas trees, the jury is out, but we have some time to figure it out.
It's gonna be here before you know it.
Well, I know, Carl's ready to salt the roads already, but
Okay.
the Christmas trees we will figure out.
Think snow.
Thank you. We're gonna go into old business. I'm just gonna give an update. Labella was here on Friday the 9th and met with the departments about wish lists, their space they currently have. They're gonna go back, put something together and present it to the board possibly in July in regards to these spaces.
So they're presenting just like square footage, or they're presenting a floor plan?
It'd be similar to possibly a floor plan. He couldn't give me the exact word on it, possibly a floor plan, but there will be square footage included in on that. They took a lot of notes. And it was very great progress, so. That's all I have under old business. Janine,
So
ADU.
ADU, not a lot of updates. I am constantly sending emails to Hudson River Housing because we're anxious to get this started. So the latest information that I have from them is that they'll be scheduling the orientation. They'll schedule an orientation with the municipality leads. Then when they do that, after they do that, then they will schedule an information sessions in each municipality. So the latest email says they're gonna be doing that soon. The delay was because there were originally 8 towns that were part of the accessory dwelling unit grant. And 2 more towns said, oh, wait a minute, we want to be involved too. So they said, okay, and took some more time. And so that's what the delay is. And you can check for any updates on the website. There's a little box that has ADU updates. So that's what I have on that so far.
All right, choice words update, Janine?
So the only Choice Words is a firm that writes grants, and we are in contract with them to write grants for us in the town. The library is also in contract with them. And we have, Brian and I have a kickoff meeting with them tomorrow afternoon. So we'll know more. But
We had, the library had our kickoff this morning.
Great.
Deanne and I were in it, and one of the things that came up was the crosswalk, so we would love to partner with the town on a potential grant.
That's on our list.
But I know, I just wanted to mention, we did mention it to them, and we thought they
Great.
would probably be bringing it up, so.
Great. Thank you.
All right. Does anybody else have anything under old business? Okay, going into new business. I need the approval for the following for the 2025 beach season for rec assistance. Jackson St. Bernard, Griffin Atkinson, Michelle Blackburn, Riley Miller, Sienna Miller, all at the rate of $15.50 an hour, with the subs as Matthew Trinos, Vincent Mercado, and Kieran Murray at the same rate. Can I get a motion to approve these?
I'll make a motion.
Can I get a second?
Second.
All in favor? Aye. Can I get approval for the remainder of the 2025 camp counselors? Emma Brenner, Anthony Mercucci, Amelia Bopp, and a sub Brent Macri, all at the rate of $15.50 an hour.
I'll make that motion.
Can I get a second? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All right, can I get approval when we receive the Liberta bill for the dumpsters to go ahead and pay that? He does not charge us for the dumpsters, he just charges us the dumping fee.
I'll make that motion.
Before you do that, what are we looking at?
It varies, it depends on the amount of weight.
How much we get.
We can't, you'll never know.
Has it been-
It's been around 2,000.
Okay. So
Okay,
we're
I don't
looking
think-
somewhere around there.
Around 2,000, yeah.
Right, I mean,
Yep.
it's.
I don't know what it's going for a ton right now. It
I just
was
don't like 'em waiting.
125, yeah.
A month to get paid.
He gets them out of there pretty quick. So,
Excellent. Yeah,
can I get a second?
second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Then I need the approval of the state retirement, the ROA, which is the record of activity for Ray Drakowski and Rich Prentice.
So move.
Can I get a second? All in favor? Aye. Does anybody else have any new business?
The garden club is doing their plant sale on Saturday from, I think, 9 to 12 at the American Legion also.
Okay. I do know the school is doing a plant sale, but they sold out extremely quick. So I don't think it lasted a day.
When did they do it?
Last week, I think it was,
Oh,
but it was extremely quick. They sold out.
yeah, so it's Saturday, 9 to noon.
Okay. Anybody else got any new business? I don't believe we need an executive session, so can I,
Just 5 minutes.
oh, okay.
For,
Yep.
tax certiorari settlement.
Any decisions being made?
Yeah, we probably want to.
Okay. Can I get a motion to go into executive
So
session for client attorney
You
privilege?
don't have to make the decision, it'll just give me some direction, then we'll. I want to settle tax certiorari thing. We'll vote on it when we get the court order, but we're just gonna discuss it.
So it's a discussion?
Yeah.
So we're not making any decision? All right, can I get a second on going in executive session? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Can I get a motion to come out of executive session?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Can I get a motion to adjourn?